10 toes down.
Come on.
I know you wondering what I'm doing right now. This Uni-G's in the building.
Come on.
Right,
Shaking like a Jamaican.
Uni-G's in the building. That's right. That's right. Do y'all see it?
Yeah.
Do y'all see it?
Come on.
What the hell?
Fire.
That's right, man. What's going on, man? 10 toes down. Your boy King Haas in the building.
Your girl Goddess Kia in the building.
Your brother Shaka L Bay in the building.
Special guest.
Your boy Uni-G. Every Uni-G in the building.
Yeah,
10 toes down.
Yeah, man.
We here.
Listen, man. Advertising is the bigger form flag of the week, man. Y'all see this brother's. You see, y'all see it? Do y'all see it? Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Step y'all game up, man.
Listen, it's
10 toes, no
and let's go to this. Let's go to this.
We taking it up a notch. This is a different level. You know what I'm saying?
A marketing
so,
branding.
y'all young boys, you know, get your pen and pads ready because you're gonna learn.
Don't open it yet.
You're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something different tonight. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn a lot. So, you know, it's a pleasure to have our brother here. You know, and even before we, you know, started rolling, we had like a amazing conversation. We was talking about just generational wealth, the culture, you know, as it pertains to Ghana, because our brother is Ghanaian. You know what I'm saying? And he's here in America doing his ones and twos. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Representing the home front. You know what I mean? So we were talking a lot about different cultures and just understanding how growth is, you know, supposed to happen. What we expect to see as we grow, you know, musically, financially, spiritually, culturally, you know what I'm saying? All of these things are important, you know. So, you know, tell us a little bit about how the culture kind of took you down this path.
Yeah. That's a good one. You know, being infused into the American culture, obviously there's hip hop. And I was born and raised in the Bronx. So already the American culture of hip hop influenced me by just like, okay, this is a different type of music. This is dope. I love myself some Tribe growing up, some De La Soul. But now the way, you know, Ghana comes into play is the drums, right? The emotion, the feeling. My grandfather was a touring musician. My dad was a musician as well. And so infusing the two, it somewhat happened naturally. But what really influenced it is just the difference in culture as well. Like, you know, growing up, you know, we was called the African booty scratcher and, you know, so forth. You know, I was used to it. And so, but that created, you know, dissonance in my mind. Because to me, you black, I think you're from where I'm from. I'm thinking, well, you not African too? But I learned early that, like, nah, they don't see me the same. So that influenced the music. And, you know, going back to Ghana, being legit African American, there was a lot of Ghanaians who rejected me. You feel me? Because they on some like, oh, you not from where I'm from. And I understand, like, when somebody from Buffalo and they're like, yo, I'm from New York. Us New Yorkers, we like, hold on, like, you know what I'm saying?
We just mentioned that yesterday. Like, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Rewind. So like,
just talk about that.
Exactly. So it's like when they was on some like, nah, you not Ghanaian. Okay. For me, I'm like, dang, like if the Ghanaians telling me I'm not Ghanaian, Americans telling me I'm American.
Where do I fit in?
You damn
Yeah, exactly. But I understand.
Really thought about the other side of it.
You feel me? But because now I went to school out there for a little bit, but I wasn't in a gutter. You know what I'm talking about? Like I wasn't. Now I'm in the Bronx. I was in a gutter. I dealt with some, but they still wouldn't accept me. So I put that into the music, and both cultures influenced that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
We started off powerful.
Yo,
what?
That is an incredible response. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but I think I am better off. You know, knowing. Based off of what you asked. I mean, what you answered.
To add on to that, right?
Yeah.
Because, see me, I'm Muslim.
Okay, wow.
So when
some great convo today.
So with me, going to school as a little boy, I used to get picked on. You know, have the kufi on.
Yeah.
So like after a while, it's kind of like, you know, you don't have connection here, and then it's like you're fighting or whatever. It's to the point where it's like, all right, it's either beat them or join them.
Right.
And a lot of us succumb to that pressure.
Of course.
So now in your case, you're going back to the homeland, and you're not getting the acceptance that you desire.
Yeah.
And then you're over here amongst other fellow black people, but they're American,
right? And
you're not getting the acceptance. So describe the emotional toll from being a young teenage boy, preteen, teenagers,
right?
And you're going through that, and because a lot of people don't realize mental health is important, that will go ahead and do something to you mentally.
Right.
So describe the struggle and the just the everyday struggle of dealing with that situation.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like initially, it was tough. Like you said, you succumbed to it. Yeah. There was one point I'm like. They was making fun of me. I'm like, nah, I'm Dominican, you know. Then they see my last name. My last name is legit an African name, mad letters. You can't pronounce it. Right. And so they was like, yo, cut it out, bro. Cut it. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Like from that caused sadness, so forth and so on. But I've always been one of those people. For some reason, I could never fit in. Right, I just for some reason stood out. Not purposely neither. I'm just like, I don't get why y'all doing that. That's not cool. Like, and so in class we learn certain things. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all just agreeing to agree. So the way I circumvented that emotion, I just say, you know what? Like, I have to be comfortable in who I am. I can't be comfortable in the identity of African, the identity of American. Just this is who I am.
Right.
This is who I am, and that is okay. So I struggled with that.
Right.
I walked with that. I didn't allow it to break me.
How did your parents? Because at what age did you go to Ghana? Because we want a little more details with that.
Yeah. So I'm since 5. So since 5, and then periodically throughout the years. So I was just there right before COVID. So actually, COVID happened, and then I got out right before the shutdown. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that was the last time I went. But prior to that, I would go all the time.
You would go frequently?
Yeah.
So my next question is, how did your parents, receive, what did you ever complain to your parents about not fitting in here and how they were treating you in Africa?
Oh, of course. You know, so for one, my parents like, you're African, like you're my child. So don't even... let that bother you. Yeah. Now, America was different for them. I'm first generation. Right. So they was also like, what is African?
You was born here.
Yeah. They was
What's wrong with you?
What did you talking about? So they on some don't listen to that. But I'm dealing with some stuff that they don't understand. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to school and I'm seeing guns for the first time in my life. I'm like, I seen this in a movie. I seen this in Juice, but I had friends who had different guns for their outfits, the gold 6s with the gold revolver. And I'm like, hold on, this is how it work in America, and I had to get hip soon. I'm like, because I'm seeing.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Health Opportunities High School right by Jackson Projects in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people die. My age, 13, 14. And to me, this is, I'm like, I don't understand this from where I'm from, how I grew up. Right. And my parents don't understand it. So I'm telling my parents, I need to get out of here. Right. I said, Daddy, they're going to kill me. I'm in school, in class, English, AP. I can't learn. I can't learn about nothing you're talking about.
Concentrate on none of that.
Exactly. Right. There's a gun on his head. I see somebody come to school with a machete.
Poor baby.
You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? Because I realized I had to get hip to the culture because what America would do to you, or this environment, you become Mufasa. You can't enjoy Simba. You can't enjoy that cub stage. Right. There's no time for that. You know, so it impacts you. It impacts you. You know,
but look how it is. We were trained and taught there's lions, tigers, and bears. They killing everybody in Africa. But you actually experienced this here, and I can almost take an educated guess that your parents thought this was the land of opportunity.
Of course.
And what are you talking about right now? We left Africa. We good. We in America. This is the best place.
Exactly.
And it's hard to convince parents because my father came from the Caribbean, right? So you know, in Jamaica they had it hard. They don't have everything. And the marketing. One thing Akon taught me is that America has great marketing. Yeah. Because in reality, what's going on in Chicago is worse than certain places in Africa. But you would never think. Right.
You know?
He was like, that's the only difference is great marketing. So can you, I just, your story is fascinating to me. It's so fascinating because usually you'll hear the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? So your parents, I'm taking that they were like,
they didn't understand me being a rapper, you know? They was like, what you talking about, rapper? Just go be an engineer.
Two different cultures.
Right. Yeah, but then I remember one day my dad saw me on TV. I'm on BET, I'm on the news. Right. And he's like, hold on, like,
is that my son?
What is this? What is this? What are you like? He woke me up like, yo, you really you really doing something. He's like, that's nice, but still, go be a doctor or a lawyer. Like, there's no future in that. Like, really go.
Same
and I'm like, nah, man. Like, I'm making money. I did $500,000 on my last album. Wow. I'm in Iceland. I'm in Dubai performing. I'm on tour with Lupe, Fiasco, Tiger, A Boogie. I'm like, nah, like, but they don't understand that.
They don't understand
that.
God bless them. My parents don't understand.
Exactly. So there's war, just trying to like appease them to a degree.
Right.
But then I'm like, nah, I gotta live my own life. You know what I mean? So
wow.
Just you know what's crazy? Bless. I'm glad that you went into graphic details because it's kind of like, you know, even now a lot of parents don't understand what their kids go through going into the public school system. Especially in New York. But especially in the Bronx. Because I went to Smith.
Oh my goodness!
So you already know.
God bless you.
The same shit you were saying.
God bless the fact y'all made it
out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as he's saying the story, I'm having flashbacks from me being in high school.
Right.
And I'm dealing with the same. I'm doing worse, but I'm not gonna get into right now. But you know what I mean. It's like that. But it's like when you go home. Your parents, you can't tell, hey, Pop, I just seen a gun today. Hey, Pop, somebody.
Just go to class.
I just saw somebody stabbed today.
Sit in the front.
Sit in the front.
Make sure you sit in the front. Listen
hey, Pop, I just walked out to school and seen somebody get shot in the head up the block.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
For real.
And then we come from the era where it's like, now mental health is valued. But in that time, you just had to suck it up and deal with it.
Right.
And it was a lot of it was
that's so good.
A lot of it was because we don't live in that 5-minute society where everything is visible. Everything is being done for shock value. You know, those things weren't as prevalent back then. So there was a lot more word of mouth, you know, and things had to travel in specific channels in order for it to reach the masses like that, you know. So, you know, that the growing up era had its way, but now we are seeing that there's a different way, and with a different way comes different ideas, different perspectives, different viewpoints of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to really understand, and this is a good discussion because we're talking about knowing where you came from in order to know where you want to go.
Right.
You know, and you know, when we're talking about music, we're talking about impacting other people through our experiences.
100,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what hip hop is to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Should be everybody.
So now, two things. One, as a kid, as a teenager, right? You're seeing all this. So you have your Nigerian side. You're traveling back home every year.
Excuse me. Ghanaian.
Yeah, Ghanaian.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Don't get it messed up because I'm about to go.
Get it messed up.
Listen, shout out to
I know.
Shout out to Nigeria, but right now I gotta go back to Ghana to get the gold. You know what I'm saying? So
we're not talking scams.
I don't want no smoke.
We're not talking scams right now.
Knock it off.
You stupid.
So you're traveling back and forth to Ghana.
Right.
And then you're in America. So you have these two cultures.
Right.
So music-wise, how's that influencing the type of music that you're trying to do?
Right. So it allowed me to be able to just share that story. Share the story of, okay, like, where do I fit in? How do I find a balance? Of course, like I said, the sound is in there. The spirit is inside the music. But what it allowed is for me to see two different, very serious realities. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously back then, 1995, 94 in Ghana, we had the huts, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing naked people on the street, and this is it's life. They showering in the backyard, wherever they can find shelter. And it's like, dang, like, this is serious. But then, you know what's so crazy? It might sound like nothing, but in my mind, what I realized back then is the garbages were empty in Africa. In America, they take everything for granted, a lot. They throw everything away. Not in Africa. You You have 2 French fries left? Let me tell you, them French fries will be eaten. And the paper that's in is going to be constructed into something. You understand what I'm trying to say? The garbage bags were just flying. There's nothing that is garbage. In America, we have garbage on the floor everywhere. So that impacts my mind and obviously impacts the music. It's like, wow, what do I take for granted?
Right.
What do I view as value? And then I put that in the music as well. You know what I'm saying? Like this is flying garbage bag to somebody's probably like, okay, let's just go. Not to me. It's like, go to America, see what they put in the garbage.
Right.
I just saw across the street they throwing out some gold. That's all. I'm like, they got the studio foam joint. I'm like, look, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's value. And just value in the garbage. And so that's in the music. You know, all of that impacts the music. You know what I'm saying? So
that's man. Good. This is that's so deep, right? And to be able to experience both worlds, I just feel like you're in a whole different category when it comes to music alone. Like as you're just speaking from a whole different perspective. I'm pretty sure there's some people that are relatable out there, but during your teenage years, right? And with everything you went through for your mental health and stuff like that, were your peers affected the same way you were? And how did are you in contact with them now? And do they view things the same way you do?
You know, I'm one of those who in school I talk to everybody. Like I'm still cool with almost everybody I went to school with if they're not dead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still cool with everybody, and they were impacted. You know, I had a friend named HD Zoe, straight out of Haiti. Came to Haiti from Haiti in high school. Right? And he was one of those good kids, smart. I used to cheat off of him. You know what I mean? And then he started getting impacted. He saw me get robbed for the first time. And he ran. And he was like, Uni, I left you. And I'm like, listen, this is the environment when I get it. Shortly after that, he had a gun on him all the time. You see what I'm saying? The Simba to Mufasa, like, he wasn't like that. That wasn't the type of, and so that joint messed his mind. He started selling drugs shortly after. You know what I'm saying? Too much. I didn't say his name. I'm bugging out. But you know what I'm saying?
We gonna censor.
Statute limitations up.
You know, my point is, you know, my fault. I'm bugging out. You know, my point is, he was impacted. I seen that firsthand. You know what I'm saying? I seen my peers. You know, in my song Pablo, I talk about how people want to be Pablo. Everybody want to be Escobar, the drug dealer, until you in the bookings and you got 25 to life.
Y'all hear that, young audience?
You know, that's the ever we come from.
That, you know, and that song was about my man Jordan Jones, who, listen, he came to high school, never wore the same pair of sneakers, never. Guns, drugs, boom, boom. And one day he was shot in the head, shot in the heart, execution style. Because you want to be Pablo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that joint messes with you. But yeah, like a lot of my peers were impacted by that type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like you're a product of your environment.
Product of your environment.
Yes. And that's why I don't judge people so fast, because it's like, listen, depending on the environment they are doing certain things to survive. Yeah. And I really and truly believe that. Yeah. And shout out to the parents now, because like this generation, we went through a lot. And the parents was like, look, just go to school, deal with it, just talk back to them, not really understanding the mental health.
It was life or death for someone.
It was life or death. Yeah. And so now people, mental health, you know, how important is mental health to you, and what do you do to keep your mental health on a good note as an artist now? Because artists need to know that. I know they get overwhelmed sometimes.
It's true. You know, like you said, mental health is a new thing. You know what I mean? Growing up, therapy and all that was looked down upon. So you're not thinking about no mental health. You think, I need to survive. I need to get to the next day. Right. What I do, fortunately for me, is, you know, my spirituality. You know, like bro said, you know, he's Muslim. Right. You know, I studied the Quran. I studied the Quran. Okay. I studied the Book of Mormon. I studied the Bible. Like, I legit was finding peace. I said, I need peace of mind. And for me, I found it in Christ. You see what I'm saying? Like, deeply. And because I'm studying the Quran, I'm like, wait a minute. They call Jesus Isa in the Quran. And I said, wait a minute. They acknowledge Jesus in the Quran? I didn't know that. Right. And so that helped me to do a deeper study. In the Quran, Muhammad says he does not know the way. He said, I'm guiding you. But Jesus says, I am the way. Right. So that did something in my mind. Like, wait, if Jesus is the way. Right. And Muhammad said he's saying he's not the way. Then what am I following? Right. You see what I'm saying? Like that is real to me. Right. Also, it says Allah. He speaks
99 different languages.
Right. You know what I mean? Muhammad. And so I said, wait, where is Muhammad buried? And so I found out where Muhammad's buried. Jesus isn't. So I said, hold on, like, let me look into this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that helped my mind. Really taking a deep dive into Christianity, I said, okay, there's my identity.
Right.
I couldn't find it in Ghana.
Yes.
I couldn't find it in America.
Right.
But I found it in Christ.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm really grounded. I'm grounded in Christ to the point where I stopped having sex before marriage. Pornography. Wow. I have not watched pornography since I started studying the Bible.
Shout out.
You understand? Yes. I got married. Obviously, it's my little flash ring my wife gave me. You know what I mean? I just had a baby. I stopped cursing. And so it's deep because my music, one of my songs named Swerve, I was doing numbers with Swerve. I'm on tour with like everybody you could think of. My guy Steve Lobel was, following me, doing, supporting me. Right. Chris Gotti, so forth and so on. And once I found God, I said, okay, I can no longer promote that type of music. I had girls, naked, and so I took down the video, and it hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. All my streams, I had $500,000. Like I was telling you guys, I took it down. I said, I got to clean up this music because it's not about me no more. I'm not here for the fame. I'm not here to glorify myself. If that were the case, we wouldn't be talking about land. Right. You see, we were talking about Uni-G and his new single. We didn't even talk about it yet. You see, I'm here to share God because that's where true freedom is. I'm here to share about Jesus because that's where peace and real Jesus. I was in the club popping bottles before thinking me and Jesus was good. In the strip club. No, I wasn't.
Yes.
Because Jesus wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't.
You see, so going back to my mental health, that's why I wasn't right mentally. Because the world was telling me one thing. Lying to me. And then I found out the truth by just being still. And that's what happened around COVID. I was still. And I started reading. Right. The Quran. I started reading the books. And then the Bible. I said, oh, I'm good.
That was going to be my next question. When did you come to this? When did you manifest this realization of leaving alone the things that, the worldly things, and just focusing on your spirituality and getting in tune with your spirituality?
The catalyst, there was a few different ones, catalysts. Life be hitting me. Right. So the first was somebody had hacked my Instagram. He hacked my Instagram, and one thing I was very prideful in the world where I would never ask for help because I just wanted to do it on my own, right? And so he started asking people for money. And he wasn't just asking just nobody for money. He was asking, like I said, me and Lupe were really cool. Okay. So he asked Lupe's manager for money. And she knows how I am. So she gave money. She gave a few hundred. And then he asked, I forgot his name. He works at Sony. Okay. He works at Sony. They was giving money. Sway Calloway is one of my good friends. Endorsed my clothing line. Asked Sway for money. And so at this point, he's getting thousands of dollars. And I was real cool with Atlantic Records. Right. I was going to do my thing with Atlantic, Rock Nation. I'm with all these labels. And I'm like, hold on, he's getting thousands of dollars. And so reason why that was a catalyst, because at the time, as a musician, that's the only thing I identify myself as. I'm just a rapper. There was no other way to support Uni-G. I'm not into ball. I'm not into football. I'm not into nothing but rap. It's music. So even the art of rap was one of my favorite joints. Like I'm into rap. I can go way back to Kumo D and all of them. I'm into rap. So once he started messing with my meaning, myself, I'm like, hold on. He's tarnishing what I built from 16, 17 years old. And so now it's like, okay, God, you trying to talk to me. You trying to get my attention.
Yeah, something's up.
And something's up and I'm not listening. Now I did a whole PR thing to, fix that up. Right. But I knew I can no longer identify as just a rapper. I need more meaning. I need more depth to myself. So I started to slow down. Right? And right after that, my dad passed. And I'm
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I'm like, okay, God, okay. Because 2020, I was moving and shaking. I was still shooting videos. I was out. I was putting out a video every week, song and video every week. Right. And then once he passed and that happened, I said, okay. I wanted to take my family out the hood and my friends. That was my goal, But I'm like, no. That can't be my goal anymore because my friends and family die. And so I need meaning. I need to be more than just music. And then I started from there. Who am I? Who is Uni-G outside of music? And I didn't know. And I know a lot of rappers.
But you had the question, which is going to bring that answer.
Exactly.
That's what I love.
Right. And a lot of people deal with this. A lot of artists. Take away the music, what they got.
I agree.
You feel me?
Right. Who am I?
Right. And so I started from there. I'm like, okay, what am I into? Am I into TV? I didn't watch TV. I just went to the studio. That's it.
Right.
And so I started watching TV. I started doing things. I started swimming. I'm like just doing things that I'm like, maybe I'm interested in, maybe I'm not. I want to go golfing.
Trying to figure yourself out.
You know, trying to figure myself out.
Amazing.
And then I'm like, okay, this has to be more depth. And I started watching series on YouTube. I'm like, let me watch Michael Todd. I know he's crazy, but let me watch him.
That's right.
I started from there. And I'm like, hold on, son talking about something. He said, pray for godly community. Read your Bible. I got on my knees and I said, God, give me godly community. Within that week, I'm doing a photo shoot with my boy Kev, he a model. Shout out to Kevin, the model.
Okay.
Somebody comes up to me within that week. Said, yo, you do music? I'm like, yeah. He was like, yo, what you want to join this ministry I'm in? It's arts media ministry. I said, I know it's God. And I was a little upset because I wasn't ready to give up my life. I loved my sin. I love being in the club with different women. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? I loved it. And I said, but I don't love where I'm at now. I'm broken. So I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let me come to your little Bible talk, your little Bible study.
Right.
And I went. And I said, hold on. They not talking like these worldly Christians. Like they'll tell me John 3:16, Jesus died for you, you're good. Mm-hmm. Not them. They said you actually have to change. You actually have to change your mind. Right. Change your heart. I said, oh, hold on. This is different. This is different.
Ain't like the regular pastor on the corner of Malcolm X.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not tripping off money. They just saying
they talking to your soul.
They talking to my soul.
You gotta change.
And they said read. They wasn't saying just listen. They said read your Bible. I read that joint from cover to cover. And I said, this ain't the Jesus I was ever taught about. Never. And so that's when I said, okay, cool. That's what it was. And I started finding identity. So my goal is no longer to promote Uni-G. My goal is to make disciples of Jesus Christ of all nations. I want you to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. My pastor was Muslim. He was. Okay. And somebody said, just read it. Because he knew it was Quran back and forth. He read the Bible. He said, hold on. This is different. I've baptized people, different backgrounds, Muslim, Mormon. This is just by showing them, here's the truth. So that's why I find my meaning now. That's why I find purpose. And that's what the music is for now. It's not about the money. I just want you to be saved.
Thank you. Well, let's go into this single. So is the religion inspired by I'm Free? And what is that all about?
For sure. So I'm Free is, I went all over the world. I got clips of people from legit all over the world singing the lyrics of the song. Oh, man, so I got obviously Ghana's all throughout the video. Yes. I got people from Ukraine, China. Everywhere. So I got the video on the USB, so I definitely want you guys to check it out. It drops this weekend. But yeah, so that's what it is. I'm just like, I'm finally free.
You are free.
I'm free.
You are free.
I'm finally free. And so you see kids in the video, old people, all different ages, all colors, just free. Right. Free. So that's that's what the single's about, just being free. And I'm finally happy. I finally got to be there because, my dad didn't die free. You understand what I'm saying? So many people go to the grave. The richest place in the world is the graveyard, full of ideas.
The richest place in the world is the graveyard.
How many people die not finished? Not a lot. Yeah. So many ideas.
Richest, like I said, I'm gonna always remember that saying. I love it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Like I said, y'all better be taking notes today because
this is
going to be a lot to unpack from this. Interaction, this conversation, because this is something on a global scale. Like if you keep your mind in the box, don't be mad when you can't see further than 5 feet in front of you. Your mind's eye has to see infinitely further than you can perceive. For you to even receive the message, what the universe has to offer you. So, you got to look within. Like our brother did. He forgot about everything he saw outside. Look within. Ask the God within him what was what. And he got his answer.
And then this is during a very high peak of his life, what we would call a high peak, right? As far as the material stuff, as far as whatever the world has to offer, right? So this is obviously wasn't an easy transition for you, but this just shows that what is possible can be possible. Your name Uni-G, how did you come up with that?
So
And did you keep it, right? Because remember, you transitioned now, right? With Jesus, and so you decided to keep the name.
Yeah, I did. So my one of my family members, he's named after my dad, Uni-G, that's his name, and so he gave me the name Uni-Elias. Which actually means one with God. Coincidentally, he didn't even know that either. You know. Now Uni-Elias. And so what Uni-G actually used to be my teacher in 7th grade, Miss Hughes. She just thought I was one of a kind, and so she would call me a unicellular organism. And so they used to call me unicellular. You know what I mean? But obviously I couldn't roll with that. That's you know what I mean? Yeah. And so Uni-G, just Uni-Elias, one with God, just by coincidence. This was before my transition too, which is crazy. So
wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question, right? Yeah. So you're used to making music a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And then, you come across this transformation.
Yeah.
So now when you start making music again, how difficult for it is you? Because you used to maybe you're talking about certain content or you're cursing a lot or what have you. So it's like now it's like, do you have writer's block? Like what's what's the process now when during this transition?
Great question. Yeah, that's a really, really great question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thankfully, thank God, I legit was a rapper. Like I'm a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? So I always had the skill of rhyming, to be able to circumvent any transformation. Now I did have to eliminate cursing, which was like whatever. Like I don't care. I just did that to add more edge anyway. But when I would say for a lot of people going through the same type of transformation, where I got stuck with the writer's block was, how do I glorify God? I want to make sure I'm not just doing this to glorify myself. Do I say Jesus 1,000 times? And I wasn't and I wasn't into Christian rap. Like I'm just now understanding Lecrae and all of them. So I'm like trying to find my own lane, because I was always more of a Kendrick, J. Cole type of rapper. Yeah. So it's like, well, I can still do that.
Okay.
And so that's where the block came in. I didn't know I could still do that. So like after this free song, I have a song called Queen to Me, which is just uplifting the women out there who, got abortions and so forth and so on, who's thinking like, I'm nothing, who can't have babies. And that's what I'm talking about. And that glorifies God still. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it doesn't have to be, all the time, Jesus, nothing wrong with it. Right. But you're saying like, it's not corny, you know what I mean? If you will.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah. The spirit is going to present itself
100.
In life.
100.
So, like you said, you don't have to really be like, what people would call like a Bible thumper.
Yeah. Here we go.
Like that,
there we go.
Where, people are like, here comes.
Right.
Here he comes.
Here come Pastor.
Okay, we understand.
Pastor Uni-G coming down the block. You know what I'm saying?
Uni the Baptist. You know what I mean? I'm here.
It was more about, Uni-G coming down the block. We, this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Very uplifting, high frequency.
And again, it's about spiritual, sharing life experiences and being an inspiration to those, like you said, who think.
Yeah.
Because he still got to talk the language of the people in order to reach them.
Well, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got a purpose.
Right.
And I don't care what religion you're in, as far as like, especially Christianity and Islam, most of your pastors or your imams were a lot of ex-street guys anyway or whatever. They know how to, they come from
the thing is, we all came from the dirt.
Yeah.
Where do we see ourselves going? You know what I'm saying? Because I could see everybody here successful, but you have to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to see that, and that's where the grind come in. So you do what you have to do,
right,
so that you can do what you want to do.
Right.
This reminds me of Kanye a little bit, right?
That's crazy.
Was it right? But so you transitioned, right? Because God
way
came
better
into
than Kanye.
you. Right. He came into you.
That's crazy.
Right. But just
that's a demon.
What genre of music do you categorize? Because you got gospel now, right? You got, but you just took the curse words out, but you still have your cadence, you still have your flow, you still have everything going on, but you know your purpose.
Right.
So with that being said, is there any genre that you are identifying with?
That's such a great question too, and I feel like y'all can feel me when I'm about to say it.
Yes.
This is why I said I could never fit in. because I don't know where I fit. I want to give you an answer. Like I was about to sign with Universal right before COVID, and I legit was worried because I'm like, I don't know how to identify with what the genre is.
Right.
So it's like I know I'm not Lecrae or the other gospel artists.
We gotta come up with
I know I'm not
different.
100% Kendrick. I just say that to kind of, but I've never fit in. And so I've always been apprehensive about signing to a label because I'm like, I don't know if y'all would know how to work me. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the independent route, thank God for it.
Dope music is a dope music.
And so when you said you just like music that just feels good, and I'm like, hey.
So the answer to that is music.
It's just music.
If you are able to resonate with it, it's good for you.
But the labels don't like that. They want to put you in.
They want to put you into that programming machine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want to get you out there where you're able to kind of just push and program people a certain way and become like a cash cow and generate things in that regard.
I feel something new, something different coming up. It's like politics. You got your Democrats and your Republicans, but you just got the conservatives. I think something's going to happen right now. We got a whole new category coming up.
Let's see.
It's better for you to stay indie anyway, man, because the upliftment that you're projecting and that you're putting out there, let's keep it real. Most of these people in the labels don't want you uplifting your people. They don't want you to teach them about religion. They don't want you to teach them about a higher power and uplifting. They want you to be. They want most of the people to be deaf, and blind. So indie for you is just the way to go because you ain't got to worry about nobody. Messing with your message. You can put your message out however you want to do it. All you need is a good PR. Shout out to Kelly.
Right, shout out to Kels. Come on.
Kels, what's good? Thanks.
Yeah.
So good, good, you know what I mean? Good promo.
Yeah.
And then you've been in the game long enough where you know how to maneuver and network and market yourself and do whatever anyway, man.
Right. And just stay strong. And that's the great thing about you, the new you, right? That Jesus is living through you now. And so now you don't have to subscribe to any category and you still can reach the higher charts of the charts. And just by letting the labels know, look. I identify as music. We're changing the whole thing now. There's no such thing as categories. We're not doing a category. I'm not in gospel. I'm not in this. I'm not in that.
You're just a musician.
You're just putting out some dope music. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
And artists. Dope people like dope music.
That's a fact. You can't put an artist in a box.
Dope people like dope music.
You can't put
We're not talking about drugs, guys. Okay, kids, all right?
Yeah. So like I was saying, like.
There's no ceiling to put an artist in because you know what I mean. You could go ahead and be on this side and then go all the way around. Like you could go ahead and this room we in right now. You could go ahead and paint this whole room or what have you. You could go, you know what I mean, with 10 different colors or whatever. And at the end of the day, you could go ahead and set up where you could have it make it the most beautiful room that we ever seen in our whole entire life or whatever. And it's through your vision.
That's it. And I believe this was God's plan from the beginning. Absolutely. That's why I couldn't identify as African, right? Or American. I couldn't identify in school. It just was like, it was never meant to be identified by a genre or a religion. It's bigger than religion. It's bigger than the culture. It's spirit. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you want to simplify, it's just dope. It just is what it is. Or I am what I am. This is what it is.
I am what I am.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this question, right? Because you got, especially, this is geared toward like the younger, I ain't gonna say the teenagers, young, younger adults or whatever. Because there's a lot of death going on in the culture. Man. R.I.P. Qua from Philly.
Come on now.
And he was because he's from my grandmother's neighborhood, and I came across him a couple of times, like just being out there, and he had to be known 23 years old, and for you to get killed on Mother's Day, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
crazy, man.
And if you hear his raps, he's spitting the pain of the youth. He's not talking that shoot 'em up, bang stuff.
Right.
He's literally out there spitting the pain of the youth of his generation or what have you.
Super talented.
And that kid was going around Philly, him and a couple other guys, they was going around Philly actually, talking to the youth and trying to come up with positive reinforcement and conflict resolutions for the people that was beefing with each other and doing things or whatever.
Right.
So like when you see what's going on in culture, number one, how do you like when you cater your music? Like, do you have that in mind when you cater your music? You know, so like trying to uplift the youth. 100. And like, how do you go ahead and with everything that's going on, reach them and try to bring them into a path of light instead of leaving them in the dark?
Right. You know, that's a good question. And music is the reason why these kids are dying. When I was in high school and I was getting robbed, so forth and so on, I remember when 50 Cent Valentine's Day Massacre, before it was called The Massacre, it was called Valentine's Day Massacre. He had a street team and he was passing out. Once that joint dropped, everybody was gangster. Many men. And I remember killers at the time telling me, Uni, before I go out and kill somebody, I throw on some DMX. There's a spirit in that.
I'm telling you.
Shout out to, R.I.P. to X, but there's a spirit within music that people don't understand. They just think it sound good, the beat. No, there's a spirit in there that drives people to either, that's why you use it at the gym. Gets you amped, right? You use it in the car, you go into a music video, you could be at the crib sweeping, all of a sudden you in a different realm, spirit realm.
This is a fact.
You see what I'm saying? So understanding that, I use my music as an instrument to help them. And the way I'm able to, talk to them, like you said, I'm from the street. I grew up how I grew up.
So you can relate.
I can relate. So that's why I'm not a Bible thumper. Because I know that wouldn't have worked on me when I was in the world. Like, what you talking about, bro? Shut up. Like, I got joints here. What are you talking about? Right. But now, guys who I have with me in the church, they used to roll with Meech. And I spiritually mentored them. And they older than me. And they're humble enough to be on something like, you know what, Uni, I need help. And so that's what I want to do through the music. I'm talking about older guys pushing 60, talking about, Uni, help me become a man. I'm like, wow, like if I can just do that through the words, imagine what I can do with the beat. You know what I'm saying? Throw a beat on it and talk to them. Because there's no freedom in here. There's no freedom in that. You'll be shocked, the artists, celebrities. I was going to come up with DaBaby. I remember when he was in South by Southwest promoting with a diaper on. Yup, I was there. Jack Harlow before he got big. I was with all of these artists, Ray Shremmerd, so forth and so on. And so now when I'm talking to Lupe on tour, like I said before, it was, Lou, when can we do our next song? When can we? Then now we say, yo, Lou, when you gonna study the Bible with me? Sit down with me. Lou was a devoted Muslim, devoted. I said, Lou, just hear me. You know what type of time Uni's on.
Right.
And so at first they made fun of me. They was like, well, I'm gonna catch the Holy Spirit, and they all laughing.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, Lou, I'm dead serious.
This is serious.
And Lou said, you know what, Uni, I'll study the Bible with you. That's how I start hitting them.
Do your music.
Do the music. That's what it's about.
Let's talk business, Uni, right? Because right, you know your purpose now. Yeah. Money's a tool to be used, right? You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. Right. It's up to you, right? Yeah. How important, because I see you have this merch or whatever. Yeah. What lessons have you learned on the business aspect, right? Yeah. From when you first started out into now, right? And how important it is knowing the business, because you got to collect your coins. Of course. I mean, I don't know in the Bible, but I don't think God wants you to be in poverty.
He does not. Right? He does not. Solomon was rich.
Solomon was rich. Yeah. Okay, so we're on the same pages. I don't believe in poverty, right? It's a tool to be used to live a good quality of life and help yourself and your family as well as the people around you, right? Your neighbors, right? So what message, how important is business in the aspect of music?
Right. One, God tells men to work. He tells men to work, right?
We're going through this.
That's what men leave legacies, for your children. That's right. That's what you're supposed to do. So now with music, I've always been, thankfully, business oriented because of the people I was around. Okay. Like Mr. Biggs, I'll tell you from Soul Sonic Force, he put me on very early. He said, Uni, this is the music business. Understand the business. Steve Lobel, he's big on that. This is the business. Understand that. So for myself, like I have my LLC, Uni-G Entertainment LLC. Right. Being an independent artist, I had to learn how to copyright. I had to find my own lawyers and so forth and so on. So thankfully, I have a team of people like Kelly, my PR people, so forth and so on behind me to make sure the business is right. And that's needed. Because if you don't have your business right, how far can I go? How many people can I reach? If that's the goal, if I really want to reach people in the world in Philly and people's hearts and talk to them about Jesus, I got to have the finances right. Right. So I make sure that when I'm doing my merch, I get my merch from Bangladesh, make sure it's great quality. And so I get,
even with the tariffs, go ahead.
Yeah, even with the tariffs, I make sure the quality is great. I have jackets. I have a whole brand, you know what I'm saying? A whole merch brand. And so you got to make sure the money's right.
So what is the three most important things you would tell the audience as far as the three most important things you need for the business aspect, where to register their music at, if you need a lawyer, like what is like the three most important things you got to have as an artist?
Okay. The LLC is not as important as people think, but it is important. It's good to have the LLC. Tax time comes in, my returns look very pretty because of my LLC. I won't lie to you. So definitely get yourself solidified with your own business. My credit card say Uni-G Entertainment LLC, and I use that for my business. So get yourself set up with a good business. It's not hard. You can talk to one of your tax guys, get the LLC set up. Secondly, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Lawyers are plugged in more than you think. I didn't know how essential lawyers are to get yourself into the industry, right? You have a good lawyer, you can get signed the next day. Make sure everything is set up. You don't need a lawyer for this, but copyrighting your music is big in the business because people can steal your ideas, your intellectual property.
Do it every day.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to make sure, as far as your business is set up, you take a little money on the side and copyright your songs. And then after that, obviously you put it onto streaming sites and so forth and so on, which is really easy now, I think, through United Masters, through DistroKid, so forth and so on.
Everything.
Yeah. So once all of that is set up, you good to go. Now you just got to hit the pavement. You got to hit the ground running and make sure that the money is balanced. You know, because as an independent artist, I'm buying my own flights, my own hotels for my guys. I have a big team, right? And so that's why when tax time comes, I'm putting all of that. Here you go. This is how much I spent. This is how much I didn't make, and I get all that money
business is doing
back.
business.
Exactly, business doing business, right?
So copyright each individual song. Every 100. Time you make a song copyrighted, is there a specific platform that you use to do the copyright?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish I had these. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I told you all the information. How you do this, right?
I love that. So a lot of people don't know how to copyright. You go to copyright.gov/eco, ECO, and you have to be very diligent in doing this. Like use ChatGPT because I've gotten a lot of my songs denied because I put my government name and not Uni-G as the pseudonym. Right.
I was going to ask another question. Yeah.
So you want to make sure you do that right.
Okay.
Copyright.gov.
Right. So as far as the LLC, are you satisfied with it being in Uni-G, or if you could, or should it be in your name?
No, it should be, because now if Uni-G goes bankrupt, that's Uni-G. I don't know who that king is. Shout out to him. But I'm good. Right. So Uni-G is its own entity. That's how I've always looked at it. Right.
You heard it? So don't put it in your name.
Right.
Put it into your business name.
Exactly. So if Uni-G feels
brand you looking to build and create, just make sure that that entity has an identity.
Exactly. Donald Trump is not Trump Towers. Trump Towers is its own human being. You even get an EIN or your own social security number for that identity. So it's separate from who you are. So
and that was a good example, Donald Trump right there.
Yeah.
Very, very good example.
Yeah.
Now, what's the balance, right? Between, because now you on a different path. But you're still trying to reach certain groups of people.
Oh yeah,
and you still from the Bronx, so you know what I mean. You want to have that certain level of authenticity because, from what I'm understanding, you talking to the people from the mud.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else is gravy, but the main your main target is those people that's in the mud that's trying to find their way out. Right. So, you might answer this already, but I'm gonna ask you again. How do you go ahead and strike the balance where it's like you still want to have that certain authentic sound, but you staying true to your better self? Right.
No matter what, people feel spirit. Or we call it a vibe. On now, we call it the vibe.
I call it frequency.
Frequency, okay? And so I talk to the spirit. Genuinely. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to front. I'm not trying to, sell you guys, so forth and so on. And so when you're able to really just talk to somebody and you don't want anything from them, they can feel that. I walk out of here and I want anything. I don't care if y'all don't even promote this. If one of you hit me up like, we had a great interview, I want to study the Bible with you, I want. You see, that's what I want.
Honey.
And that's how you get the mud. Like, bro, listen, I've been on your path. I've been in high school seeing the guns. I've been in XYZ. I've seen people bullets to the head. Like, I've seen what you've seen. It leads to nothing. So feel me when I say, let's just chop it up real quick. I don't care what walk of life you're from. I don't care what religion you're from. Let's just talk.
As humans.
As humans. And so when you can talk about land, when you can talk about hip hop and it be genuine, it serves a different spirit than a person who comes sit in his chair and just want to talk about themselves all day. Talk about, only reason I got on these shades is because the lights is bright. You see what I'm saying? Right. I would, my eye was hurt. It was twitching a little bit. You feel me? No, but you know, for real, like, it's about being authentic. And when you are authentic, the spirit speaks to spirit, no matter what you are saying. The spirit is speaking that truth.
Now let me ask you a question, right? Without getting too political or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
This is the best interview I've ever had.
You see the stuff that's going on in the world. Not just in this country, but in the world, period. Right? And the whether it's through race, religion, you know, certain preferences, countries or whatever. So, well, there's not no one answer for this or whatever, and it's probably a general question. But I just want your perspective anyway. How can we go ahead and what other ways we could work with each other? Like, I remember I was working on something one time, right? And we was trying to feed the homeless. And there was so much, you know what I mean, back and forth and dissension, and it's like, hold on, man. I just want to go ahead and feed some people. What y'all tripping off of or whatever? Somebody do the rice. Somebody do the chicken salad. Somebody do the chicken. You know what I mean?
And meet me on this corner.
Some waters.
I'll meet you on this corner.
And let's hit the street and let's go feed some people. That's it. Why y'all making it so difficult?
And he really went through that. He really did.
A lot of people, especially in this country, we like to argue. I don't care whether you black, white, whatever. We like to argue just to argue. If somebody says tomato, the other person's gonna say tomato. If somebody says black, the other person's gonna say white.
And it's the same. We're talking about the same.
So what can we do to go ahead and at least come to some type of understanding? Because with the things that's going on in the world, we all gotta start working together. Especially the way this thing is going. I don't want to get too deep, but you get what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying. And I think, one, there has to be obviously a commonality. What are we here to do? We're here to feed the homeless. Let's make sure we remember that. So when the politics comes, it's like, all right, it's getting too busy. Let's go back to the origin. What are we here to do? We're here to feed the homeless. And then you start feeding the homeless. And then it's like, okay, now how can we truly help them? I used to do the same. I used to buy clothes for the homeless, right? Crackheads, as a matter of fact. And so I used to give them clothes, and I would walk away like, yeah, man, I hope they can go to a job interview. I come back next day, they're still there. And I'm like, hold on, let me buy them some pizza. And I kept doing the same thing over and over. And I'm like, I'm not really helping them. Like, you feel what I'm saying? You ever give somebody money, you like, they about to just blow. Exactly.
I always say that.
And so that's where it gets tricky. The politics start coming in. Well, let's do something different. So what you need is central leadership. Okay, guys, let's all come together. Let's think of a plan. What can we do? Let's all share ideas. All four of us right here. And we're going to go out and feed the homeless. Okay, then what do we do after that? Maybe we could build a center. Maybe we can do this. Okay, cool. How can we? You have to have infrastructure. You have to have a plan for what's happening. Because if not, all you'll keep doing is just feeding them, and then a few days later, they're back to being homeless again. You see what I'm saying?
Or they get the money, they're going to go use the drugs.
And so now, And so now on a bigger scale, what you're talking about in the world, that's why you need something that we can all cling to. That's why I'm so big on God, because if we're on the same page, it's like,
God gotta be the
he's the central
point.
Exactly. Now we have central leadership. What does he say? Oh, okay. Now there's no more politics. Now people can try to confuse it. That's why there's so many different denominations. That's why I'm Mormon. That's why I'm Pentecostal. That's why. And so now that's why they said to me, just read. And I said, hold on. Now that I'm just reading, I don't understand why you're doing this. So I'll give you a small example. In the Bible, it never, ever, ever says to baptize babies. Why would you do that? The Bible's so complicated that a baby cannot understand that. So why would you baptize a baby? That makes no sense.
Right.
But now that baby's going to grow up thinking, oh, I'm saved. I was baptized as a baby. You see how confusion starts?
Yeah, I'm about to go to your church.
You see, come on, pull up. That's all I want.
I ain't never hear no stuff like that.
You see, just let's keep it very simple. A baby cannot understand what's in there. But you would baptize them and tell them to devote themselves to Jesus Christ and so forth and so on. So now you have...
They're not developed yet.
Exact. Now you have confusion.
Because you created your own rule.
Exactly. Legit. That's what happened, right? And so now what I'm here to do is let's bring it back. What is the point? What is the purpose? To meet on the corner, serve the food, feed the homeless, and give them a better life. We need purpose. A lot of people just creating their own purpose and living how they want. And so that's why the world is at war. Disarray. Wars of Muslims fighting Christians. What are we talking about? We supposed to beat on the corner, feed the homeless, and you see what I'm saying?
That's it.
They're simple. They're lost.
Be the messenger. That's
Be
it.
the messenger. They're lost.
And as human beings, we just make everything complicated.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Even our own relationships, like we make things complicated.
I was going to ask about relationships, but that'd be a
come on. I love my wife. Come on. Shout out.
Shout out to wifey.
It's like even like in relationships where it's like, you know what I mean, man and woman, it's like, you know, we're fighting each other or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got, man go home or whatever, just pissed off and just...
Yeah.
But then there's a lack of understanding and communication. It's like, especially people of color.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
They don't have communication skills.
No,
But there's war right now.
Like,
gender war.
As a woman of color, I don't know what you're going through when you go outside to go to work every day and the nonsense you're going through. But as a black man, you don't know what I'm going through when I'm outside every day or whatever. And we don't sit down at the table and talk about it to have the understanding. All we know is you snapping at me and getting your attitude at me or vice versa.
Yelling.
And not realizing why... I don't know why you angry. You don't know why I'm angry. Nah, let's sit down and talk. Hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so we can be on the same page.
And the man is supposed to, central leadership, like I'm told, the man's supposed to do that. So me and my wife, we don't really argue. I'm keeping it real with you guys. When she's going off, or let's say she has a day, whatever, I say, I need to be gentle. I say, what's wrong? Talk to me. What did I not hear? What did I do wrong? I have to be humble enough to listen to my wife, who I'm supposed to lead into heaven, who's supposed to lead my son. I have to listen to my wife.
So listening is a form of leadership.
100 and being gentle.
Being gentle.
It's okay. Like we it's taboo for a man to be gentle. Be gentle with your wife.
Right. Like
my wife, her dad is hooded in hood. She from Soundview. She's hood. She's blacker than black locks. I had to say, I'm not your enemy. I don't want to fight you. I want to take all those broken pieces, give it to God to heal you, and then He give me you. He gives me to you. You understand what I'm saying? So I waited for her to be my wife, right? We kissed for the first time after I was baptized on the altar. We wasn't even holding hands. I said, you are pure before me. You belong to God until God gives you to me. Right. I will not tarnish you. You understand what I'm saying? And so when I come to, I'm not aggressive. I'm on you bugging out. No. That was old me. Right. Now let's talk. You know?
So
men change the world.
Men. So it got to, in order to stop this gender war, because you see what's happening on social media, right? Men ain't ish, women ain't ish, and it's feeding into our emotions. I ain't gonna lie, because I'll be like, I got one friend, she'll bring me there, sending me all kind of stuff about men, and I'm like, I can't stand them, right? We're just gonna touch a little bit on this because I want to focus back on the single and this music.
Okay, come on, I'm free.
So right, I just for the audience, right, just to bring the family, because I really feel like there's nothing more beautiful, really, honestly, no matter how much y'all get on my nerves, than the nuclear family, the man and the woman together. I know it got to be something powerful for me to look on the internet and it be so much division. That they want to keep, we talk about race, but there is gender war happening between men and women. And so I cringe when I hear a female say, I don't need a man, because I know, no matter how angry I get, I know that statement is negative. We should not even have that in our mind. Because outside of intimacy with the man, we need our fathers, we need our uncles, we need our sons, our brothers. So that's just crazy, right? But I'm just saying, so you just saying that the leadership and the understanding from a man, right? Although women still have to play their part in something too. They have to be able to receive. But that's just the starting point in getting leadership in order to lead to God. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. And I'm also saying it is okay. I know it's going to be a trigger word, or the trigger word for my wife still for some reason. It's okay to submit. I submit to my wife, right? And we must submit it to each other. You got to submit. And I know a lot of people are scared of that word because it's like, oh, what does submission mean? I gotta be at your feet. No. We gotta break down the definition. We gotta break down the definition of that word and also give some examples of it. Right. Because we submit to God. Exactly.
Right. So like it doesn't mean slavery.
It does not mean slavery.
And because the negativity, once again, to bring the genders apart so that we can thrive and live a healthy life, we automatically about to fight you. I'm not submitting to a
If you go to your boss and submit, because you submit to your boss and you want that 9 to 5 every day or whatever, and you should be able to come home and submit to your husband.
Right. And the husband needs to submit to his wife. Exactly.
That's trigger for the husbands too. Like, what? I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm soft.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're not soft. When I come home, if I had a hard day, first thing I'm doing is I'm praying because I don't want to bring that into the home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's demons that we fight. Demons that's trying to latch onto our souls to tear us down. So before I touch that door, I pray, God, bring me a soft spirit. Bring me a soft spirit. Let me come inside him. And I know my son, he's 7 months. I just had him, you know what I'm saying? He's tearing my wife up, you know? So I know she had a long day. So first thing, how you doing? Let me grab him. How you doing? You know what I mean? I'm massaging her feet if I have to. I'm submitting to it. What do you need? Do you need me to cook for you?
That's a form of submission.
Yeah, we cook for each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you
teamwork make the dream work.
We're really a team. That's my friend, and I'm big on loyalty. That's my friend. How can I treat my friend like that? Beat on my friend, scream at who would do that to a friend? You are my friend, so I'm submitting to you. That's in the music too. You understand what I'm saying?
You read my mind. Like
it's all one.
Is this in the music?
Yeah.
So now I'm free, right?
Yeah, I'm free. Yeah.
That's a definite. That's a heavy statement. I'm free.
Yeah.
All right, don't cheat yourself. What's
the true message that you are that you want to convey behind this video?
Yeah, the true deep message, the deeper message, because on first scene, you just like, oh, this is a dope video, this is a great song, you know, whatever. Right. The true message is for you not to think you're free and you're really not. That's the scariest thing ever, because I thought I was free. I thought I was living life. I mean, I'm on tour with Tiger and A Boogie and Lupe, and I'm making money. I'm free. I'm making money. I'm good to go, but I wasn't free. I wasn't free. I was shackled by things I didn't understand. We're all a slave to something. We're all a slave to something. And so when I say I'm free, I'm free because I'm finally in servitude of something bigger than myself that's actually going to lead my life somewhere. That's actually going to get me somewhere. I don't need to drink Henny before an interview no more. I don't need to be high to be able to relate to somebody and just have a regular conversation. Me and my boy Josh was talking about making beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. Now, before, the conversation wouldn't have been like that because I wasn't free. It would have been like, okay, like, this is awkward. What do I share about now? So the deeper message is there's so many people who think they started their walk and they haven't even touched. They have no idea. They haven't even touched
your greatness even started.
You have no idea. And that's why so many people die with so many ideas. Yes. Because you're not free. Fact. One day, inevitably, I pray it's 300-400 years from now, whatever, we all will die. All of us. And the next time we wake up, we will face God. And God's going to ask you, what did you live your life by how I said it? And if it's a no, then you weren't as free as you thought you were. So that's the real deeper meaning to I'm free. But on face value, it just looks like a fun, family song worldwide or whatever case. But that's the real deeper message.
It has a message behind it.
Hold on. Now, speaking of mentions and stuff, we're going to get to the closing.
All right, let's save it.
Now, we were showing it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now, they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Showing the magic trick shot.
The magic trick.
That's cute. The magic trick. Shaka stupid.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what I'm saying?
What made you do that? You know, because that's different. I'm into branding.
Next level.
All y'all artists got to step up.
I appreciate
that. The past is surpassing all y'all. That's right, brother.
Yeah.
And
everybody need a
USB.
Yeah.
This is a prime example
innovation
of a thought becoming a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I like that. Thought becoming a thing. I'm writing that down.
We all have a connection to what I call a hive mind.
a hive.
The hive, HIVE. And what happens is we have a collection of energy that's up there. Yeah. And it's when you are one with yourself, when you are speaking to the God within you, you have a more direct connection with that hive mind. So you have to be on a different level to come up with an idea like this. To have your music on an avatar.
It is an avatar.
And it has...
Wait, it's going to be on NFTs.
All of your...
social media.
Your social media...
Yeah, they can't really see
connection. It. No. They ain't... Listen.
It says, if you can let me hold it, I can see it for myself.
No.
All right.
I am Uni-G. At I am Uni-G. On everything.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just make it clear.
That boy,
we're going to be talking clarity because this conversation has been about clarity. You know what I'm saying? You can't be free without being clear of mind.
You gotta go clear.
So, shout out to our brother Uni-G doing next level marketing.
Come on,
and putting out dope music for dope people
with the message behind it to really free people.
Trying to help you find your purpose.
The real way, not the fake way, like the real way, because there's a lot of knockoffs who use religion. As a forefront.
Let's go to close now.
And so I'm just so grateful that it's authentic, like you were saying.
That kid get this, when they had the hobby.
I didn't.
He's upset because he's not getting more room. I'm
a gearhead.
I don't even know if he mentioned us that he had co-workers in there. I don't even know.
I resonate when we talk about frequency.
So Haas can have one of these and you have that. I'm willing to exchange with you if you would allow. But Shaka is such a geek. And he stores data a lot, so this is why.
That's fine. Like
that. Okay. Soon as you see, he threw this to the side and just took that. And I can't even touch it. Like
that's
real
all
talk.
You. That's all. I got buttons too.
Yeah.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? Only on 10 toes down. Yeah. So we want you to mention all your platforms. We want to let people know where they can reach you at. Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let me take it out because I was observing it. Well, this one here, and it's very interesting because. Okay, right. Like look at the detail in this.
Hard.
The boom box. He's sitting.
That's hard.
And look,
you see that?
When the boom box was out back in the days, they didn't have the cut up jeans back in the day. I don't think they did. That wasn't the style back then.
So are you the one? Are you the main one coming up with all these ideas?
Yeah. So my boy, I don't know if you guys know about Justin Richburg. He did Childish Gambino's videos and so forth and so on, the illustration. He actually designed it, so I just told him the idea behind it.
And he put it together.
Yeah, he put it all together.
See, that's what I'm talking about. When you tell people what's in your head, and then they go, I got you.
This is global because I could see somebody in the UK rocking this. I could see somebody in the Bronx rocking this. I could see somebody in Ghana rocking this. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing about it that makes it so.
And it's going to help with his message. That's the most important thing.
Right. It exemplifies hip hop. Hip hop has always been about expression.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're not free if you're not free of confusion, if you're not free of restriction,
that's what I talk about all the time.
Then you can effectively express yourself in this thing called hip hop.
Now where can they find all this merch, man?
So on my website, www.imunig.com.
Okay.
But also the brand is called Cold Chili. So it's so funny you mentioned that.
So that's what it says there. I tried to figure that out right here.
Oh yeah, Cold Chili.
Yes.
So the idea behind that was I legit was out one time when I was young and I saw a homeless man eating Burger King's chili when they used to sell chili. out of the garbage.
Oh man,
and back to what I was saying. Now you guys can understand the Ghanaian mindset. I'm like, yo, what he saw as sustenance to get him to the next day, we saw as garbage. So it's about what we take for granted. So I call my brand Cold Chili, right? And so that's what it says, Cold Chili. And like I said, you know, shout out to my boy Sway Calloway. He endorsed my brand, so he had Red Bull.
Shout out to Sway.
Yeah, he had Red Bull, you know, pull behind it as well.
Right.
He had me come out there, you know, to the station.
Right.
So I had a whole bunch of people just supporting the brand. So on Instagram, it's called Cold Chili Clothing. Okay. So that's where you can also check it out.
And now you got 3 more people that supporting the brand.
Come on, fire.
You got the whole 10 Toes Down brand.
Come on, 10 Toes, no pedicure.
That's right.
So, man,
no pedicure.
So tell them once again when the new single's dropping, when the EP is coming. And tell them one more time where they could get all the merch from the website.
Yeah, so you can go to www.iamuni.com, grab yourself a piece of me to go home with you. The single I'm Free is dropping this weekend, 5/16. I'm really looking forward to it because it's the new beginning. You know, I'm Free. The song will be out on all platforms. And obviously, the video will be out on all platforms as well. So
y'all just see me there crying.
Y'all know what it is, man. Uni-G is in the building.
Tap in.
10 toes.
10 toes down. And this is what we do.
10 toes down. Y'all know what it is.
That's right.
10 toes down.
Y'all 10. Uni-G.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Y'all,
you know what I'm saying?
we out. Y'all know what it is, man.
I've been holding back tears for this one. This is a good one.
I appreciate you guys.